go.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is September 18th, 2025, everybody. This is a brand new season of Gimbalabs. We're calling it creatively season six. And you might lead you to believe that there have been five previous seasons. And you may be correct. My name is Newman. I'm the host. I'm co-hosting here with Harsha. And this is, as Lewis likes to call it, the Robo Newman voice. This is where I do. This is where I do my. This is where I do my business. We all meet on Thursdays at 14:30 UTC. Just as a note, you may encounter problems if your country goes to a daylight savings time. But yeah, 14:30 UTC on Thursdays, we all meet to do governance or to collaboratively decide on what we should do with our time. Gimbal Labs has been around for quite a while, and we are all gathered to figure out what we're going to do. And in this instance, to kick off a new season and to review what we just did in the last season, which was here in North America, a summer season where we funded several different projects. Um, Other things to look forward to today are, James is here, a founder of Gimbal Labs, and he is going to give us a bit of a history about like what's going on here and possibly some ideas about what might could happen in this next season. Harsha, have I missed anything, or are we
No,
ready to
no, I
start
think,
in on? Yeah.
yeah, we are ready for history of Gimbal Labs and why Gimbal Labs is even here in the first place. Yep.
What do
Creative
you think?
Wild season six. Uh,
Yes.
so there's a reason for this, right? Like the number five is kind of important on Cardano. It's the length of an epoch, right? If you're staking or delegating your governance. And so it's a nice chance to think about a new epoch for Gimbal Labs right now. Um, we were founded almost exactly 5 years ago. You might have heard that Project Catalyst is celebrating its 5 year anniversary right now. Um, and Gimbal Labs was the result of a few people who met. Me, Roberto, and Julie met as participants in Fund Two. Tivo was there at that time. We were all having a bunch of different conversations, and we decided to combine two different proposals in Catalyst Fund 2, one that I had written around education and one that Roberto had written about decentralized infrastructure called Dandelion. And kind of the rest followed. And 5 years ago, we didn't really have a picture of precisely what we wanted to do. Roberto and I had a lot of ideas in our heads that we wanted to possibly work on, but really, we knew that step one was finding people who wanted to help flesh out these ideas, think about how to implement them, how to participate. And so that's why it's with some thoughtfulness that we do want to call this season six as a place to start. We're here at kind of a new frontier, a new epic. The first 5 years are behind us. Some stuff happened, but what happens next is totally up to us who are here right now. For the first time in a couple years, the website has been updated. It's simplified. It's just, we actually got this made in the fall of 2020, this background here. And I've always loved it. You can see how the Gimbal Labs logo is hopefully connected to a network of other people doing stuff across the Cardano ecosystem. And all we have for now is the sign up link that maybe some of you used to get here and some links to important resources across the bottom. I'll let you play with those, but what's important is that this is an open repo. And so one of the things we might decide to do is explain or communicate work that we are doing right now, design some applications to improve this. There's a lot we can play with. There's links to our Notion. Newman will take us through that in just a moment. And not linked from the front page, but always available is this is our Fund 2 proposal. This is what we wrote 5 years ago to start the first epoch of Gimbal Labs, the first 5 years. So if you're curious what we were thinking in the fall of 2020 when Gimbal Labs was founded, you can take a look at this right here. You can see some common threads that have remained true through the last few years. And you can also see how we've evolved by just being part of this community, opening spaces for people to figure stuff out together. As always, we're asking the questions, look, like now that this blockchain technology exists, what's it going to do to the world? So that's really the high level overview. There's other resources that we can talk about, right? One of the things that came out of Gimbalabs in the last 5 years is the Plutus PBL course, which has been through a bunch of different iterations. But I know that one of the summer projects that has been going on is updating the video content for that course. So all in due time, we're going to learn about a few different things that have been going on. But I'm really excited to explore our governance model and throw it back to Newman to talk about how we operate and why we're starting with this meeting.
Yeah. Thank you so much, James. And I do love looking at that Fund 2 proposal. Um, it is it 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 does get down to sort of that we do have a history, that there are some sort of OGs around that have been a part of Cardano and Project Catalyst, and that is sort of a common thread. And I like having that. That's one of the things that I like holding on to. Even though Catalyst has ups and downs and it may not be everything, but I love the fact that Catalyst can bring us together. And one of the things that I'd love to bring along is like connection, a deep connection to Project Catalyst, you know, for the networking part of it. And we do have some Project Catalyst proposals, and I know that some folks here have Project Catalyst proposals. And that, as I share my screen and show like how this works, this will show up on my Notion right off. How this works. So this is the season six weekly open spaces from September to December 25, season 6. This is our running agenda, and I've just got the date, the facilitators. We've got this date in and date out. Date in is when we generally present a proposal. We'll get into all that, but these are my record keepings. As I've come to understand, people in the ecosystem think about me for documentation and facilitation. So that's what I like to do. I like to talk and I like to take notes. And so here I am at Gimbalabs talking and taking notes. And I do it in these structures. So this is this one of the structures for this meeting. But if you back it up, and if you're unfamiliar with Notion, it can be a bit of a bear. But here is this start here. And actually, I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to go here to the projects. This, if you were around last year, you should be very familiar to you. These are the proposals in various stages of progress. So, and it's basically goes through this proposal, planning, and progress down to canceled and backlog. Starts with proposals. This is how things are managed and are decided on in Gimbalabs. And really the reason for this meeting on Thursdays is to introduce these proposals and consent to them. Now, at the risk of going too fast, does anybody I can check in here. Is anybody not familiar with Notion or want some explanation on this? Because this, I think, is the first one. Do you think that's fair, Harsha?
I mean, if someone has questions, I feel like they should feel free to like raise their hand and ask, jump in
Yeah.
whenever. Like, feel free.
Yeah. Because this is sort of a key component. Because like we said, deciding what we want to do together, this is how we do it. And it sort of has an echo of Project Catalyst, like an idea of a proposal system. We also use a thing called S3. So you'll see these proposals, and you're like, what are these? What are these proposals? And they are like this, the consent decision-making process. This guy right here.
sociocracy.
And yeah, Lewis, you remember this from last time?
Yeah, yeah. I'm very familiar with sociocracy.
Yeah, Sociocracy 3.0. It's a framework or a method or a group of patterns for how to run a decentralized organization, which is what what we hope to do. What we aspire to is to move towards the decentralization. Um, so so we've got Notion and we've got this S3 Sociocracy 3 decision-making process. The thing I love here, and I love showing this thing, so I love writing things down. I love talking and I love writing things down, but I also love maps. I really love maps, people. And this is so incredible. Look at all these crazy patterns. So when I got here and people were in software development, and I'm not necessarily a software developer, but they talked about backlog. So S3 has this way of organizing work called the backlog. Let me make this a little bigger. So it's another way of saying a to-do list, prioritized of uncompleted work items, typically a deliverable requirement. But anyway, this map can help you navigate this decentralized communities, like like a governance meeting. You know, this is you could call, I don't know, what do you think, James? Is the Thursday space a governance meeting?
I think roughly, right? We do it weekly, so it breaks that fourth bullet point, but I think we're hitting the other ones here.
Oh, scheduled every 2 to 4 weeks. We have a thing called, it's like our governance season. We do it in January. We've done it for the last 2 years,
Mhm.
where, and we're not doing, and Harsha and I talked about it. It's like, hey, should we start off with like a full governance season, uh, where we take a couple of Thursdays and go through this something like this. I think we started it here.
Yeah. But
Oh,
can I share just a word about
yeah,
what we're talking about when we talk about governance and this consent process?
yeah.
This is where we've documented a lot of this stuff. And part of the reason we have kind of a clean slate here is it gives us a chance to talk about what's essential, right, to this process. And so I was talking to Newman and Harsha last week, and we decided that the only thing we're going to start with right now is this meeting that we're in together, this governance meeting. Any number of other spaces might open up, and that's really exciting. In previous years, we've had live coding spaces. We've taken on projects where people are dedicating their time to some outcome. But that's exactly what we're governing right here, right? Because this is a decentralized and distributed community, all of us, we all go do our own thing all the time, right? And if you're doing your own thing, you don't have to ask for permission for that. But when we talk about governance, is those cases when you want to ask other people to dedicate their time to a thing
Mm.
you want to work on. And in the case of funding, we do have some funding here at Gimbal Labs, and we have to decide how to use it. This is the hands-on experiment. It happens right here and pretty much only here. Okay, this is the Thursday meeting where we go through the process of surfacing potential projects, turning them into proposals that we can consent to. And then part of the proposal is saying, here's the funds I need, and here's the amount of time I need from other people to launch this next wave of work. So what you see on the agenda today is that actually when we last met in June, we launched and consented to several different projects. So I know that Harsha and Newman have been planning this agenda right here. Over, today and the next few weeks, we can hear share outs from how these projects are going. But I think most exciting is that whether we start today or in the next few weeks, talking about what we might do next, right? What are the new proposals that we're going to dedicate time and resources to?
I love it. Yes, and that exactly is, when do you create a proposal? It's when you're asking other people resources. You know, um, uh, And I want you all to think about how you're going to spend your time in this next season. It's sort of offering you uh, a chance to work with others and be supported in the Gimbalabs way. It could be that you come in and hang out and you see what other people are doing. This is a spot to either find people or find a project. Find people for your project. I have a project, I want to work on it. Uh, I can find maybe somebody that wants to collaborate, or I'm a person that wants to collaborate on a project. Um, and so that's when asking for resources of people, and then also for funding. If you've got an idea that you want and that it is related to Cardano, and a new thing that we want to, well, we'll want to establish. Um, but I would love to, before we get into that, I would love to, following this thread, uh, is anybody, what are your projects that you're interested in pursuing this year? And how do you think Gimbal Labs can help you? Because it is, as James says, up to us. And then is Seb
Yeah,
wanna
yeah.
come in?
Sebastian had his hand up. Yeah. Go ahead, Sebastian.
I just wanna reflecting on the issue that if time and money are the only variables to consider there, because sometimes I don't need the time and I don't need the money of anyone, but what I need is take the work of anyone else and start building on top of that. Sometimes in my own experience, when I do that, I get to some kind of clashes between the owner of the resource expected I do with that and my own manage of those resources and I didn't and in that scenario I didn't ask for time or for money, but at the end of the day we are having some kind of a clashing situation. So time and money, okay, you don't ask me money or time, go ahead. But that go ahead implies, in my experience, different ways of sometimes uncomfortable situations, right? Not
Now,
bad, yeah, not intentional situations, but simply bad situations, right?
interesting. Sebastian, it sounds like working as a contributor to an open source project. Like you don't want any money from the open source people or the maintainers, or are you're asking
All right.
for is that what you're talking about? Because that is certainly a thing. Because
So
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you're right. You're right. But the person or the people should state clearly, okay, this is open source. And open source means you can do, I give you license to do with this whatever you want, or until that point, or until where I can, you as the owner of the resource, where you put the limits, right? You can go, I give you license, like in the open source world, I give you license to go until this point. So that's
Yeah.
a responsibility.
Yeah, that makes sense. Go ahead, Maureen.
You're muted.
Happens to the best of us. So I wanted to say again, I'm really happy to be here, and Newman, I actually went on X to check you out. Turns out we follow each other. I was like, who is this guy? He's so cool. I wanted to say one of the things that I want to achieve in Cameroon specifically is education, right? Because as far as Cardano goes, there's like 3 of us here. We are an endangered species out here. So I want to be able to reach the people that I can reach. I mean, I've organized a couple of workshops, but as far as knowledge goes, I can only go this far. And also resources are thin. And one of the projects I submitted for Catalyst was to sort of go to universities and onboard students. It's a little bit, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess not deep. It's just to tell them, hey, this is blockchain, this is Cardano, yada yada. Nothing's deep, right? But I'm looking at this team and I feel like that we could do a lot more with that other than just telling them about blockchain. Maybe we could do something tech-ish, teach them how to build on Cardano, stuff like that. And I think it's very important because one thing I noticed is that a lot of products on Cardano specifically, not just blockchain in general, of course, blockchain in general, assume a lot of things about part of the world like Cameroon, which is not, just doesn't work. For example, a wallet that we use to buy ADA, all the ADA I've ever had, I was given to, like, it was given to me. Like maybe I did something, I got paid, or someone dashed me the ADA. Now, but the reason is because I can't buy on your Roy, for example. My bank account is gonna get rejected, and the mobile money which is supposed to work doesn't work. So I can't even buy ADA. I can't sell my ADA. When I want to sell ADA, I either send it to a friend in the US to like sell it for me in his account, or I go to an exchange, change it to Bitcoin, and then and those are some of the things that I feel like if we do something in Cameroon where people can be able to do our own wallet, why not? And eventually it's going to be something that will serve all communities in places like Cameroon, Africa, I don't know, wherever else. So I can send my proposal either to you, James, or Newman, or I can drop in the chat if you guys want to take a look at it. I'm not gonna talk too much.
No, absolutely. And you're welcome to talk. Actually, that I think is like the problem. Like one of the reasons why a good decentralized network works is that we're the sensing organ of a network, and you are highlighting a problem. Getting things in and out of the Cardano network is difficult. It's difficult even in here in the States. It's a non-trivial task, and certainly that is something. And now I'm kind of curious, and Harsha, what do you think about following this thread? I would love to know what people's project is for this year. Like in a personal way, what is your focus? This can be like an extended sort of check-in. And I would love to go on around. We're not even to the halfway point in the meeting. These are 90 minutes, by the way. So James, I see James has his hand up. What do you think, James?
I was just wondering if it was a good chance just to like put what the proposal structure looks like on the screen as we talk about
Yeah,
our projects, just at the
absolutely.
context.
Yep.
And Maureen, there's the public view of the Notion site. I shared it in the chat a few minutes ago. You can look at any of these to see the structure of what we've been working on. And for example, oh yeah, like you have my vote for this already on Catalyst. But independent of that, you can kind of see a picture of how we've been structuring these and what other work has already happened. And so yeah, as people share out what you're working on, we can start to talk about like what would be the driver of that project, right? How would I fill out this proposal?
Right. And yeah, now this is interesting because we all have an experience. It's a wild, varied, pageant celebration of life kind of experience. And you take that experience and you have something that you want to do. And one of the things is kind of structured data. If you take a programmer sort of idea on it, and then you take that experience and pull it down into structured data into a proposal format. And we ask for, so that we can all work together into this format. And it's similar to other formats like the Catalyst format. but this is the way that we've done. Um, this one is for basically asking for uh, people and resources to host these open spaces going forward. But as we look at this, I mean, just as a personal thing, I kind of am interested in what is everybody's project um, for the next season. Um, and I think we could
I
take
mean,
8 minutes. Yeah.
like
What do you think?
instead of like specifically saying a project, I think what do you want to accomplish with
Right.
Gimbalabs or by yourself, and how can Gimbalabs help? Yeah.
And as you're thinking about it, and just raise your hand if you've got one to present. Maybe you have a Project Catalyst proposal in, maybe not. As you're thinking about it and raising your hand, I will just talk about this proposal format. Like it has, for instance, a timeline. Projects are different than other things because they start and they finish. Emmanuel, what are you focused in on over this next season?
Yeah, there's like a wide variety of things for me to do, but as you said, they would just have to be a focus, right? For example, right now, like just for a start, I and Lewis, we have a project catalyst proposal where we like I am open on extending um, what we started in Nigeria to Tanzania and Kenya. Um, and, Maureen, if you don't know, this is Temasa. I think we jumped on X Space quite recently. And, me hearing out about your Cameroon project is really, really much exciting. Like, I'm feeling, I'm feeling excited and motivated. And, it's just closely like what we just did with the University of Lagos in the Nigerian community. I think Jedidiah is here, one of the students we just onboarded. Unfortunately, they couldn't flood this place because I think it was late time in Newman just prompted them that, hey, Gimbalabs meeting is just starting. Yeah, from onboarding and uh, working personally on Mesh Hydra, and yeah, so I and Lewis have some nice things to do as well in Africa, and we just dropped it on Prayer Catalyst. I just decided to drop it, So yeah.
Did you draw? Yeah, if you have a Project Catalyst um, proposal up, that would be something to share, certainly, um, because it is a voting type of situation. And Lewis, what do you
Yeah.
got?
Oh, thank you, Newman. Emmanuel, thank you as well for bringing that up, right? Before I can even tell you how we ended up here, Ian and I had a project we were working on, Jambala, and I was tasked to find an army in Kenya, right? An army of developers, right? And my mentor has a school, it's called Tracom Academy, right? So he gave me a task to bring blockchain education to that school, right? His goal is to be a frontier in Kenya in regards to blockchain education. So that's what I'm on, right? So I think one of the goals I want to work on this season is that. Also, I have two separate proposals, catalyst proposals. One is on climate justice, and then the other one is on predictive markets. So I'm willing to work on all of them at the same time. But in terms of education in Kenya, I have a school ready. I'm just, you just need a curriculum and something like that. It reminds me when I started coding, or rather, I started blockchain, right? I was at European Business Institute when I was doing Bluetooth Haskell, and after the course, they told us, "Yo, join one of the Thursday open spaces," and that's how I came to learn about Gimbalabs. So I'm thinking maybe the same thing can be done here. So yeah, that's one thing I want to work on.
Yeah. Yeah. It, you know, we haven't spoken about Andamio just yet.
Mm.
Um, it does have a special relationship to Gimbal Labs. Gimbal Labs and Andamio are different. Um, Andamio, from the way I see it, is a project that sort of started with some of the founders of Gimbal Labs, but is its own sort of thing, and that we have a special partnership or relationship to. Um, and when, even though it is not just a an LMS, a learning platform, or a place where you can put a curriculum or a course, um, it is something that's how it's being used at the moment. And course development is something near and dear to my heart. And I know that it seems like Maureen is also in this thing, and Emmanuel is a real success case from last year's uh, uh, Project Catalyst and the Gimbal Labs process. Um, and yeah, and so that is an important thing, and perhaps this is the year in season 6, where we lean in on the educational projects that we've done in the past, and that we um, build new ones. Has who Is there anyone new here that is interested in, for instance, taking one of the PBLs? And ones that I'm thinking of are the sort of flagship Plutus PBL, which is right down here, um, or Marlowe Mesh,
Ooh,
or
Marlowe's on hold, but Mesh is a big
oh
priority. Yeah, for people who are interested.
no, wait a minute, which one? Oh no, it's not
Aiken,
Mesh, it's
Aiken up at the top.
Dandelion. Yeah, Aiken.
Yeah.
What about Dandelion? I know that Dandelion was featured on the homepage down here. Did they, that I guess that's not a PBL. That's sort of they have some structure, and I would love to sort of see that because that was a big. It was sort of it wasn't like I don't well, do they have a they had a proposal. I think they were Catalyst funded, not necessarily Gimbal Labs funded.
And the Game Changer team, along with Martin, have really taken some ownership of this one. Sorry about the background
Yeah.
noise.
No worries, no worries. Anyhow, um, oh, it's now time for we're gonna Robo Newman. So we're now at the middle of the session. We're now at the middle of the session. Hey, if you're listening to our voices on YouTube, you can join us on Thursdays. I know it could be late or early where you are. Thank you for listening in, but you can join us on these sessions. You can also join our Discord. The links are in the description to this video. We're really glad that you're here. We're really glad that you're engaged and are listening. But hey, come and contribute more. There's something that you want to do that we can help you with, and 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 we can help each other. So that being said, back to the regularly scheduled. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Drop a like and a comment. YouTube algorithm. How about okay. Um, I want to show some stuff. And while the next person is thinking about what they want to do, and Alex, maybe you can jump in. Sebastian uh is here and he could talk about like what he wants to do. Adrian, um, there's some new people. Andrew is here. Some new people have shown up.
Hey
Um,
guys, sorry, a bit late.
yeah. Oh yeah, no worries. If you all don't know, Andrew is one of the contributors in the Asteria project that I know him most from, but he's also a developer working on all kinds of things. Um, and So thanks for being here, Andrew. And Sebastian, you've got your hand up. You want to talk about the next thing?
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the Gimbalabs role in the governance instance, because since a few months ago we as we in the moment Gimbalabs is for some reason uh, assumed this role of the rep, right?
Yeah.
We got to that conclusion a few months ago, and we had enthusiastic people in charge of that task, because it's a task more than an aspirational thing. And since from 2 months almost ago to this day, we have been negligent in our responsibilities as the reps. And we have to say Gimbalabs has a kind of appreciation from the people, has some respect from the people in terms of, okay, they have this knowledge base around community and around what people should do in terms of community. And we are behind of that.
Yeah.
I guess some D-reps, everybody's D-rep today, everyone. And the new D-reps are starting from zero. Zero reputation, zero knowledge, zero zero everything, right? And they are starting to build from zero this role as the reps. And we at Gimbalabs, we have built that reputation since years ago, right? And we started this little rep exercise with a good in a good position. But what I want to say is we are negligent in that the rep role. We have two choices: or we retire our name as the rep, or we assign some people to make the task that is required with the compensation related, right? Because we are talking about, okay, we have funds in the treasury, in the Gimbalabs treasury, so we can use it to compensate people that review the proposals and make the corresponding voting. Yeah, and I'm not a governance person, right? I'm not deeply involved in that. I know the generalities, but the strange thing, the weird thing is that in the beginning we had people engage almost 100% in the process, and suddenly they are they disappeared. So we have to
Yeah.
do something about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely a governance action. And it's one of those things that, like I was talking about in the beginning, like things that we did before and that we want to continue, or this is the time to make those decisions about, oh, maybe we stop that.
And we have
I just
sorry, just to end my comment. And we have more than 1 million ADAs delegated to our direct voting
oh,
power.
holy
So
crap, is that true?
that's
We have
it's
over 1 million ADA is delegated to our DREP.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Wow.
So or we close the shop, or we continue putting in front one of the people that make the job. Yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot.
Oh, wow. Really great. Thank you for raising that. I just, while Nori is getting ready to speak, the DREP conversation, we did create a proposal for it, and it went through several iterations during these Thursday meetings, but we really couldn't get um, consent or some real sense from the community. And as it stands now, and I think James has done some voting, and you can see that voting in a GitHub repo, and or through our, which is where all those details are. If someone wants to bring those up, and that might be a good thing to stuff in there, because that's definitely something that we would want to bring in. And thank you for being patient, Nori. I just want to bring up one thing And this is sort of letting you inside and in a transparency thing. This is sort of my backlog of what is it's just a backlog or an outline of what is Gimbal Labs. And this DREP, I'm just going to put this in here, up here, question, right there. Yeah. Because there's all sorts, every community has these things like membership and awareness and marketing. Whenever I think about Sebastian, I think about that. And our partnerships and learning opportunities. And I'm just going to put a new question in here. Should we be DREP?
Thank you.
And, yeah, cool. Now, Nori. Hey, thanks for being patient.
No worries. I was going to say one maybe simple first step. There's a service out there, I'll link it in chat, called Reach Your People, where you can connect a Discord channel and it will post anytime there's a new governance action. And I use that personally. Like this morning, I just saw one pop up around the Cardano product roadmap for 2030 kind of thing, but it will at least allow us to see whenever there's a new governance action. And then if it goes into Discord, it's super easy to say right click, create thread, and then you can gather sentiment on it. And using things like that may make it a lot easier for DREP kind of stuff to happen if we decide to move forward by doing it. And my other thought was, yeah, if there aren't people willing to do the DREP role, then that becomes really tough. So worth the conversation for sure.
Definitely. And James, go ahead.
And just to share,
Thank you, Nori.
if anybody's interested in Reach Your People, we're already signed up as Gimbal Pool. And so I'd be happy to help anybody who is interested in that tech.
I'm looking for, here it is. Oh, yes, we definitely need to do this. What's this guy's name? Is it Nils or Rees or
Nils. From Nils.
Nils? He is awesome. He's awesome. He's always been a friend to me, and I would love to get him. I'd love to be involved. So yes, ryp.io. This could be a tool that we use. So I'm a tool guy. I've already said that I love to talk. I love to take notes. But I'm also a tool guy. So perhaps this for and as I understand it, it's like networking not through a network like X or an open. Well, it's using the open protocol of Cardano for DREPs and others. Okay. And it just James, while you wait for just a second, these are all the different tools that we're using: Discord, Notion, GitHub. We're currently right on Zoom, YouTube. This video will go into YouTube. We're posting and stuff on X. We're using Domio as a tool. You know what? We haven't used Miro in a while, and I kind of love it. Google Docs is not sort of an official thing, but this is a Google Doc. We're using TeamUp for the calendar, and perhaps this Reach Your People, ryp.io. So if you have a tool, or if you're like, oh, I'm kind of scared of Discord or scared of Notion, like that's something that we can help you with. If you're like, hey, I would love to build a Notion app for community development, you may have in Gimbalabs. Okay. What next? Harsha, this is one of those beautiful silences. We've got about 30 minutes left. Does anyone have more projects they want to share about like what you're interested in? That was a wonderful surfacing of attention about the DREP role. We could definitely talk about that. But what's next?
I thought you were doing a round on what we want to do this season.
Yeah. Let's continue on. Let's continue on with that. Who would like to share like what their interest is or what they what they envision. And if you haven't envisioned the next 3 or 4 months, I invite you to do that now. Think about, the where you've been and where you are right now in this moment, and where you'd like to be in October or December. Maureen, go ahead. Me?
So, well, let me just cut to the chase since none of you are mentioning it. The reason why I came here was because of the platform that I built, which was basically for people to be able to list their profiles. So we are on Cardano, where sometimes you need a designer, but you also want a Cardano designer. I don't know what's up with that, but people always ask, hey, who knows a designer on Cardano? I get sometimes in group chats, even in DMs. So I decided that maybe, like a directory where people could just put their name, a small biography, or a portfolio, and a link where people can contact you, like your X account or your email address, depending on you. So I started, but the traction isn't great. I don't know if it's the idea or it's the execution, but I'm I'm hoping we could talk about that.
Oh, here we go. AdaExperts.network. Now,
And I just to reach out, I invited Maureen because I think this is an amazing demonstration of a project. And the first people I thought of were Emmanuel and Jethro and all the devs you guys have been training. This might be the perfect project for you guys to bring some devs into and start to explore. I don't know if I'm right about that, but I wanted to start that conversation and see if there was a way we could support Maureen's vision here to build something that I agree that our community needs.
Yeah.
I see the vision.
Oh boy.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Yeah, for sure. Actually, this is something that we've worked at, and to be honest, Harsha is one of my earliest memories that you and I got together, and there was a profile finder like this as a part
No,
of one of those
that
early.
wasn't that like with I forgot what's
You remember it too. You remember it
yeah,
too.
I do
Yeah.
remember it. Yeah. I can't remember. I forgot his name, but like he's a pretty famous like community member. He keeps building like the Catalyst ones. He has
Yeah.
something like that. I forgot what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Was it
and
Tinder? Sounds like Tinder. I don't know.
Is it Cardano talent?
Oh, it
Oh.
looks like there are like a bunch of these things. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, well, exactly. Right. So, I mean, but that's an interesting thing, building a product that there are competitors for and talking about, well, what would this one do differently? Right. And what would drive Maureen, somebody like you, to say, hey, the existing options out there aren't good enough. This is why we need this one.
Now, I'm going to take us in a direction, and I'm hoping that Nori is listening in, because we, as a decentralized network, that we really need to think in terms of the network and in terms of us individuals. And I don't know, as a phrase, like a strong individual, a strong node, a strong network. So regardless of which network you post on, I think that everyone should think in terms of a profile on a network and be sort of network interop or network agnostic. Because the need is real. That's why there's all these different the tooling is out there. One of the things that Odin which was a project that Nori and I and and Harsha and have worked on and are working on. Uh, we talked about this, the now page, or having some type of professional introduction. Because when you're in the network, it's like you don't know each other and you have to be able to introduce and quote unquote network as a verb. You have to network with people, and it's very difficult to do if you don't have explicit sort of profile info. Um, it, Nori, I could take us to the now pages. I could do and James, do you remember? And this is one of my very first, another uh first memory of Gimbalabs way back in the day, that we had these profile pages. I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna look for that Miro board. Uh, but it was, we had on the Miro like a little template where we put, like our profile info and where we were, our time zone, super, super important. Um, yeah. I I would love it if in this season everybody had a working profile posted on several different um, networks. Um,
It would be
that would
cool to show
be,
off the now pages, just to show what
yeah,
they look like, because I think they're super
yeah,
helpful.
yeah. This would be cool. Is it in here? Patterns. I think it's in here. Oh, I don't know if it's here. I'll go to mine. I'll go to mine. I think it's this one. Yeah. So this is my now page. It just says, it's basically an introduction. One way you can think of it is, if you hadn't seen a friend in over 6 months, you could say, hey, what are you, what's going on? So it says like, these are my active uh, contributions, or networks that I'm involved in, old communities that I've done in the past, my areas of interest in building on the web, uh, fitness and getting back into shape, current projects, stuff, that, like where I'm at, exactly where my other links are. And then, like silly things like a shiny thing. Like I did get a new umbrella, and it was pretty awesome. Uh, so yeah. And they generally have a date of when they do. Let's check out Nori's. And while we're thinking about this, does anybody have this in a dedicated way other than me and Nori? And do you see the value in this? And Maureen, does this sort of fit in with your idea?
I think so, yeah. The idea is just to connect, especially for people who are new, who don't know anybody. So you can know that,
Right.
hey, if I go to this place, I will find a couple of people who are involved in this domain, and I might just, connect with somebody and go from there.
For instance, because if you think like a network is all about your connections. And I saw so many projects in as I did reviews for Project Catalyst, and they would say, "Oh, I'm this person and I do all this stuff," but then they didn't have a profile linked, or their profile was from you know, LinkedIn or X or something, which I don't know if I trust as much. So wouldn't it be cool if we had a more trusted network, like like Maureen's project, like Ada Experts? I mean, it says it in the name. James, what do you think about all this sort of personal profile stuff?
I'm just thinking about how it goes both ways too, like agreeing with everything and thinking, if I were a newcomer to this community right now, I would want to know, like, is there some way that I can find the most accomplished people, or the people who have already been working on problems that I bring here. So, right, it goes outward so people can discover, but it's also like, as a newcomer to the community, I would want a way, like I personally, as a community member for these last 5 years, I want to meet more people who are new. I want to know what fresh ideas they're bringing, right?
Yeah.
So how easy can we make it for people when they're just showing up to send a signal and get to the point where they're having these substantial conversations as fast as possible?
I love it. Yes, send a signal and um what do we call it? This is back from the I'm just trying to stamp my OG status. Uh Gorbash. And his thing was timed meaningful contribution. Somebody new shows up and they're like, they wait a week or a week, but if they can't get into meaningful contribution, which and Sebastian, I see I'm gonna get to you in just a second. I wanna go to our primary driver, and it's listed at the top of every proposal, and well, except this one, except the one that I bring up. The Gimbalabs primary driver to provide open, replicable, safe spaces to learn, to explore, and to power individuals and organizations anywhere so we can solve meaningful problems. Um, Solving a meaningful problem is what gets you up in the morning. It's like what drives you. It's your why, if you're familiar with that terminology. And I want to
Yeah.
find people, I want people to find their why, and then I want them to turn those tensions into actions that are aligned with their higher purpose, with their why. Anyway, I think that a profile and can do so much in that regard. So I really am thankful for the conversation. Now, Sebastian, what do you got for us?
In my case, I'm partially in favor of these profile pages because they tell a story, but they don't show the work.
Mm.
I think when you think about a person that is really looking for other person that makes a specific task, but we are just talking about their truly people in need of finding someone with a specific need to cover by a professional. They are able to put some need on the table, on the grill. They are able to commit a small budget, 50 ADAs, 100 ADAs, 200 ADAs, for a person executing a task and providing evidence of that. Those are reflections based on my time in the work we are doing in Andamia. I think we have this kind of way of directory yellow pages style that has permeated the way of looking others to make a job for decades, right? And it's a static. It's not effective, right? Because the person that visit this kind of web pages or something like that is in this static, uncomfortable position of, okay, I just read and that's it. And I read the story and I don't risk anything else. But today we live in this kind of reality where people is able to okay, I need this person, but the person is not as important as the task I need to cover. So because I need the covering of this task, I'm able to open a task in this page or any page. It's not about Andam, it's about any other resource online. I'm able to describe the task, assign a budget, and wait for the people that is able to cover the task. That allows me to taste the real capacities and skills of the people, right? And that goes beyond the story that the professional is describing in the profile. That's the reason why maybe I'm just partially in favor of these profiles. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah. So Sebastian, you're saying, and I love the yellow pages. Yeah, I was about to say, Lewis, do you know what a yellow pages is? Because it does it.
Because
And Maureen,
okay,
yeah,
because okay, I found Alice in the in the database, right? And the first step is to read the story Alice is telling me. And the second step is to get a call, right? A personal call, start the conversation about, okay, I need that, I need this, you do this. But that second step can be more efficient if you change that second call with just, okay, just do this task and show me your work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
I can taste the quality of your work,
Right.
the time you take to many variables. You can start with proof, with evidence to judge the capacities and the responsiveness of other professional, right?
Yeah. 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 I like
And
where you're
that
going.
and that mechanic offers several filters, right? You as the owner of the website, you want to filter people that really don't the people that is not really organization or person interested on finding people, but just you have other reasons to navigate the website.
Yeah.
Different to, okay, I need that task, I need that person, and I need a team. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. James, take us.
Well, I'm hearing Seb talk about, right, like one priority of a platform like this, discoverability of both collaborators and opportunities. And it makes me wonder, my question is really for Maureen first, but also for everybody else. Suppose that a platform like this was successful enough to get to some magic number of users. I don't know what number you have in your head, right? 10,000, 100,000 or more. But you get to a point where you say, okay, we've achieved this initial level of success. What's the first feature you would be most excited to build? Whether, right, like what's the next opportunity you would want to give people who are showing up for a platform like this?
Okay, so right now, the only way to contact a person is through the X account or the email account they provide. So I would obviously just create a small chat where you can send them a quick message, say, hey, you don't necessarily have to go to X if you don't have X, right? And you don't have to show them your email. Sometimes you just want to see, like, get a feel of someone before you talk to them or whatever. So you can block it right there if it doesn't work. I guess that you asked for one. I have tons of them, but that's
Please, I love knowing what the first one that comes to mind is. Thank you. And
Yeah.
right, and I can imagine we could have this conversation several times over the next few weeks. But like as that example, right? Any devs here, and I can answer Newman's question. I'm really curious about how Cardano and what we're building upon it with Andamio and other sets of tools interacts with other decentralized tooling. And so one thing we've been doing at Andamio, for example, is looking at the Nostr protocol, which is like a social media decentralized protocol, not a blockchain exactly, because it's not sending financial value, but it's a really interesting piece of decentralized infrastructure. And so, for example, to devs, anybody who's been on a learning journey for the last few months, if you would be interested in exploring like a token gated chat experience like Maureen is describing, that's something I would love to look at together. So think about it if that lights you up.
Hmm. Hmm. Emmanuel, this is FYI, we do have about 10 minutes left. We like to turn off the recording at least at the 90-minute mark, just so that it doesn't wait like people that are tuned in. But let's Emmanuel, go ahead, and then as we notice that the seatbelt sign is on and that the plane is starting to go down, we're going to land here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Go ahead, man.
sure. I just wanted to add, when Sebastian was,
Oh,
discussing on what he thinks about an ideal. I don't know, maybe a better way of, presenting the platform of, um, you know, adding to what he thinks. And it made Jethro remember what both of us built for an hackathon project early this year. I think Newman remember the African.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the project, and so yeah, but I think this is like an extensive way in working like what Maureen has, and also making me now thinking, oh, because it was like during the time Jethro just came up with the idea. I want a platform whereby something like Upwork right now on Cardano, and okay, we just said, okay, let's build it, and we'll be able to use Cardano, and it made me now think, oh, okay, while building, I now started thinking, oh, this is just what Andamio is doing, and but yeah, and so I just decided to talk about it as well, and you can actually
Yeah.
connect your wallet and try it, interact, and Metascam, my worker, and do all of that stuff.
And you're making the connection to between Maureen's app with this directory of skills and what Sebastian was talking about is like going beyond that sort of directory to sort of interact and get that first project. What made us think of this time to meaningful contribution? Like, how can we get a sense of that person beyond just what they say about themselves? So yeah, that's an incredible thing. And as James mentions in the chat, like we have tooling to build these apps. So hey, go us! I think this is incredible. Again, an example of emergent governance. Because when Harsha, did you think that we would start talking about like the forefront and innovation of profile uh, development when we were thinking about this meeting?
No, no, no. But
I
I'm
did
down for
not.
the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Um, okay. So, um, we, yeah, this would be a great way to spend our time. Like,
Yeah.
and there are many,
Into
many more
Gimbalabs
projects.
kickoff session, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, what an incredible
Good
kickoff.
points. Thank you.
In the future, because we let's talk about like how things have worked in the past. Um, we have these weekly Thursday sessions. We will have one of the things that we've done in the past, which I hope that we continue, are live coding sessions. We've got one in the books for Mesh, which is right, which would be somewhere. It's in one of these. But generally, a live coding session supports a PBL. And it's basically where students can come and talk about issues or problems, and they can connect and work through their coding homework, basically. Um, the other thing that we do is on the last Thursday of the month, we will have a review session. And this next one, and we can kind of call these last Thursdays, I really would love to review the summer projects.
Yeah.
Odin had a summer project, this thing called Datum Dons or Community Code Review, the PBL video updates, which Andrew was leading up, the African Developer EDO, which was Emmanuel and our guy Jethro's project, and the Asteria GL, which I would love to talk about. Asteria GL, it was a highlight of my career in Cardano. Was a project that went. These are all the summertime projects that we've been managing throughout the summer, and I'd really love to get sort of review on. And then our normal process, so that's sort of like a special review process. And then our normal process is basically what we did today, where we surfaced a tension and maybe or surfaced an issue, the issue being personal profiles and the issues with that and how it might and tooling that we have available like these incredible tools, like how to best to use them, how to best to build with them, because we are a builder-focused community. So perhaps there's a proposal that can be created, and the way that we consent to, or the way that we approve those proposals is through this consent process, consent decision-making process. So that being said, that's what you can look forward to. If you tune in next Thursday, 14:30, Harsha and I will be here to guide this process, and we hope that you attend. Checkouts? And do we check out on camera, or do we check out on the recording, or do we check out Sans recording?
We can check out after recording.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any last words? James, would you like to give us the last word, or
Thanks for kicking it off, everybody. Yeah, thanks for everybody who
Yeah.
shared ideas. I'm excited to see where all of this goes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks everyone. Come see us next week, or come see us in the Discord.
Bye, guys.
All best.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, everybody. See you soon.
Okay, we're just turning off the recording, and then we can